The American public school system, supposedly the great equalizer, the foundation of our democracy. But for millions, that's just a comforting myth. The truth, many parents lie awake at night wondering if their child's school is setting them up for failure. This isn't about bake sales anymore. It's a deep, systemic crisis. We're pulling back the curtain on public and private schools, how they're funded, how they perform, and what's really at stake. Why are families willing to go into debt to escape their local public school? The answers are more complicated and infuriating than you think. The battle for our children's future is happening everywhere, every day. On one side, defenders of public education. On the other, advocates for school choice, a concept that sounds empowering but is riddled with controversy. Is school choice a lifeline or a Trojan horse to dismantle public education? We'll follow one family as they navigate this minefield, and we'll challenge the myths and reveal the truths about what actually works in education. So is the system broken or working exactly as those in power intended? Let's find out. Meet the Millers, Sarah, Tom, and their son Leo. They do everything right, but their local public school, Northwood Elementary, is struggling. Leo's in a class of 32. His teacher, Miss Davis, is overwhelmed. The textbooks are ancient. The Millers hear rumours, fights at the middle school, music programme cuts. Then a flyer arrives for Viridian Academy, a private school promising small classes and a modern curriculum. The catch? Tuition is sky high. It would mean sacrifices. No vacations, extra jobs, constant financial stress. Tom, a public school believer, wants to fight for their community school. Sarah sees Leo's spark fading and worries he'll be left behind. Their debate is the heart of the school choice crisis, ideals versus their child's future. Are private schools really better, or just better marketed? Are public schools truly failing, or is this panic manufactured? And here's the twist. In some states, the Millers' tax dollars could help pay for Leo's private tuition. The rules are changing, and families like the Millers are caught in the crossfire. Their story is the story of millions navigating impossible choices in a system stacked against them. The stakes? Nothing less than their child's future. The Millers are on the front lines of America's education battle. Like and subscribe now. To understand this fight, follow the money. Public schools like Northwood are funded mostly by local property taxes, while low-income schools get extra funding through Title I. That means wealthy neighbourhoods get students and families who can spend time focused on school. State and federal funds help, but the gap remains. The result? Massive inequality by design and personal choice. Some public schools thrive, others are starved of families and students who care about education. Private schools like Viridian run on tuition, donations and endowments. They're not bound by the same rules, so they can innovate, or not, however they choose. They also maintain a student body who are passionate about education. Historically, public schools are free for all. Private schools are for those who can pay. But school choice programs are blurring the line, redirecting public funds to private institutions. This sparks a fundamental debate. Do we invest collectively in education for all, or turn schools into a marketplace where parents shop for the best deal? The answer will shape America's future. The stakes are high and the consequences are real. The Millers' dilemma is just one example of a nationwide struggle. The question, who should control the funding and the future of our schools? School choice would mean parents can use public funds to send their kids to any school, public, private, charter, even homeschool. Vouchers and education savings accounts, ESAs, let the money follow the student. Supporters say this creates competition, forcing public schools to improve and giving low-income families more options. In states like Arizona and Florida, these programs are booming, framed as a civil rights issue. But critics warn school choice drains funds from public schools, leaving them with fewer resources for the students who need the most help. Voucher amounts rarely cover full private tuition, so the poorest families are still left out. And private schools can be selective, deepening segregation and creating a two-tiered system. Is school choice a revolution or a ruse to privatize education? The truth is, it's both a lifeline for some, a threat to the public good for others. Let's bust some myths about private schools. Myth 1. They're all elite playgrounds for the rich. In reality, most are modest, often religious, and chosen for values or safety, not luxury. Myth 2. Private schools have bizarre secret curriculums. Actually, to attract families, they offer strong academics, sometimes more rigorous than public schools. The real difference? Selection bias and smaller class sizes. Private schools can pick their students and often have more involved parents, but the biggest advantage is personalisation. When Leo is one of 15, not 32, his teacher knows him. That human connection is what parents are really buying. Even in countries with great public schools, the wealthy still seek private options for that extra edge. The success of private schools isn't magic, it's structure, resources and attention. It's not an indictment of public school teachers, but a lesson in what's possible with the right support. That's what draws families like the Millers. The Millers choose Viridian Academy, using a modest ESA to help with tuition. They feel guilt for leaving Northwood, but relief for Leo's future. Their crisis is solved, but the bigger problem remains. Why not just fund public schools better, so every Northwood has the resources of a Viridian? The answer: politics. A nationwide funding boost means higher taxes, political suicide. Many distrust the public school system, seeing it as bloated and inefficient. So, instead of fixing the system, we experiment with school choice, hoping competition will force change. It's a workaround, not a solution. The Millers found an answer, but what about the 31 kids Leo left behind? School choice solved one family's problem, but may have made Northwood's even worse. We've seen the Millers struggle, caught between a failing public system and the high cost of private school. We've exposed how funding creates inequality and how school choice is reshaping education. The real advantage of private schools: smaller classes and individual attention, not just fancy facilities. The Millers found a path for Leo, but their choice doesn't fix the system. The big question remains: how do we ensure every child gets a great education, not just the lucky or wealthy? Do we invest in public schools or keep betting on the marketplace? This isn't a spectator sport. Your voice and your vote matter. Get informed. Go to a school board meeting. Ask tough questions. Demand real answers from your leaders. The future of our children and our democracy depends on it. Class dismissed. Don't forget to like and subscribe now for a new catalogue of videos.